Governor, what is the proper role of the Michigan Economic Development Corporation in your vision of a new Michigan?
No, I appreciate that because there's been a controversy about the Michigan Economic Development Corporation. As was stated, I was their first chair, and it worked well. One funny story that you may not realize with the MEDC is what state has gotten the greatest advantage by Michigan being all messed up? Probably the state of Indiana. If you go to the state of Indiana and ask them their largest source of business, they'll tell you it's the state of Michigan. Now, if you go down to Indiana and you look at what's their economic development model for the state of Indiana, you know what they did? They searched the entire country to find the very best model to replicate for Indiana economic development about a dozen years ago. You know whose model they came and took? They took the MEDC model. And they did it right. So the model works well. It's the implementation of that model. And there's some things that we need to do in terms of getting it back on a positive path. So those things include empowering the local groups to have more say on the ground. So it's the MEDC less in the local community, but partnering more with the great organizations you already have. Because you're closer to the issues, you understand them better, having the MEDC be more a clearinghouse coordination center about creating best practice between our great local areas and having that happen. It's also getting back to economic gardening more. We lost our way. We got too caught up in saying, let's go get a few big organizations with huge incentive packages to come do business in our state. The majority of jobs that get created in a community are by small and medium-sized large businesses that are already here. So what we need to do is make sure we're supporting Michiganders first and foremost to let you be successful. Because think about this. What is the best marketing for a community? For anyone. And think about your business. What's the best marketing for your business? Is it the ad you run? Is it the client you might buy because you gave them a special deal? Or is it because you have happy customers? It's by having happy customers. So our goal at the MEDC is, let's make a whole lot of happy customers.
Governor, how will the changes in tax system and the elimination of tax credits keep Michigan competitive versus states that continue offering credits and in some cases direct subsidies to businesses?
That's something that, this is that change paradigm that I think people are still getting over. Ask yourself the question, why did we have such massive credits and how much they've grown to? Literally, we've given out billions of dollars of credits still to be cashed in. Why did we have to do that? Because we had a broken tax system. So we're putting a Band-Aid on a broken system. The better answer is you fix the underlying problem and you say you need to still have that condition the same way. And that's what we're doing here. By changing our tax system, by getting rid of the Michigan business tax, we'll be among the most competitive in the country. And if you're a business person, wouldn't you rather know I've got a long-term system I can rely on that's going to be consistent, that I'm not going to have people coming back to change the rules on me? Or would you rather have a set of credits saying that, hey, I got these credits now, when they run out, I'm going to be caught up in this messed up disaster. It's that psychological change that we have to get people believing in ourselves. We're going to have the best place to be doing business. And not based on the fact we're buying somebody to stay here. That's an important difference that we need to focus on because the math doesn't make sense. We've given credits out through 2032. The other part I would say, in addition to just simply saying the credit piece is, you're business people, many of you. Would you rather be in a state that uses incentives and credits and is running a deficit, or would you rather do business in a state that says, here's our tax system, it's as simple as possible, and they've got a financially balanced budget where they're making payments on their long-term liabilities and they're fiscally stable? It's a better model that we're moving to. Let's just get there.
A few more questions, and then we're going to wrap up. Please share some plans to reinvigorate the manufacturing sector in Michigan.
Sure, our manufacturing sector, I'm so proud. This is a group that's making a great comeback. And I'm a big advocate of manufacturing. We need to diversify. So I always mention we need to keep on broadening. But actually, as a plant manager for a couple of years, most people don't know that back in the Gateway days. I actually managed a manufacturing plant. And it's one of the great skills that we have in the state. What we need to do with manufacturing, and one of the programs we're looking at, is how do we help our great manufacturers, which tend to be concentrated in automotive, but how do we help them not build stuff, but are there programs we can help them on the sales and marketing side? How do we help them get introduced to people in the aerospace industry, the medical industry, other fields? Because they know how to make the stuff, but they've never had a sale. They've never met people to know how to actually sell to a different industry. So how do we help them adjust to that, to learn how to sell into a new industry? And that's a worthwhile effort that we can help with. The second piece we can really help with that I think has real value is we can do a much better work on supply chain analysis. To actually map out the industry to say, we see holes, we see opportunities, and bring the industry together to let free enterprise work. Again, we shouldn't be creating the jobs, but if we can frame the discussion to say, here's a great economic opportunity, let's do it this way, there's good opportunity. And some of this can help with some of our most structurally unemployed people. One thing we're looking at, I'll give you an illustration, is we've got a great healthcare industry in southeastern Michigan. Well, in some cases, take their laundry for example. Where's their laundry going for some of these places? And they have a lot of laundry. Do you know Western New York is building an industry doing laundry? And the point is, why shouldn't we be looking, if we have people that have laundry needs here, about just doing it in their own community? And let somebody set up a business and be successful. That would have entry-level jobs. That's good free enterprise. That's the kind of thought process we need.
Last question. Who did you pick to win the NCAA basketball tournament?
That's a depressing. I was on a roll here. Now,
Butler got you again?
yeah, obviously I have a certain bias, but what I would say is I was really proud to say we had 3 teams in the tournament, all great teams, and my rule is I root for Michigan teams across the board, only exceptions when they play one another, and then I do have a little bias. And I'm not in the tournament anymore.
So who do you like?
Now, with us out of, with all our teams out, yeah, then we move on. I'm back to reinventing Michigan. So.
Well said.